Now, Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to the latest episode of Double OT with Ruthie Polinsky. Don Darrow is off this week, and I think we did one last week without you, so we got to get the threesome back maybe for next week.
I'm missing Mark. What is Double OT without Mark? I feel like he's the one. He's the consistent one.
He's the yeller. Yeah. He's the most passionate. Yeah. And he does the when
I'll try and incorporate
business.
Yeah, I'll try and incorporate the three today. Anyway.
It's going to be a challenge this fall getting us all in the same room, and our schedules are so crazy.
Double OT is priority.
Well, New England Nation is not a priority.
New England Nation, first run through today. Pretty exciting.
All right, let's start. Very exciting. Let's start with baseball. Red Sox-Yankees 3-game set at Fenway. Depending on the outcome of tonight's Yankees-Mets game, we're taping this at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. It'll either be 4 or 5 games in between the two teams. Do you think the Red Sox can put the Yankees away for good this weekend?
Yes. Is my answer.
What are they going to have to do that?
Yes is my answer. I think they need to win. They need to win 2 of the 3.
So it's like 7 or 6 games in the.
Yeah. So get a comfortable 6 or 7 game lead. I just think they can. I think they're going to. I think that this team is playing the best kind of baseball you need to be playing right now. Like, they're rallying. They're just coming back and they're winning, and nothing's getting them down, and everyone is doing well. So I'm excited. I think it's good. You have Sale on Saturday. He's going to win.
You're missing him by a day. You're going up
tomorrow.
I'm
missing him by a day. Yeah.
See Pomeranz.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Sale pitch in person yet. I'm curious to see because when I grew up watching Pedro, a Pedro game had a different energy than every other game. I'm wondering if the Sale games are starting to feel like that.
He had a pretty impressive interview too on WEI too. That I think people are falling in love with him a little bit.
He's all business.
He's a good person.
Yeah.
He's just a good person.
They will. I think. Can they sweep the Yankees? Yes. I don't think they will.
Yeah. No,
I don't think they're going to put the Yankees away for good, because I think the Yankees are just good enough, and they've played well against the Mets, that they're going to kind of hang around a little. Mm-hmm. And by and large, we've seen it time and time again. No AL East lead is really safe. I mean, you go back to 2011, the Red Sox completely melted down that year. And even last year, once they clinched and they started doing the David Ortiz celebration stuff, they kind of teetered off towards the end. So I still think the Red Sox will win the division. I think they'll probably take 2 of 3 from the Yankees, but I don't think the Yankees-Red Sox pennant race or AL division race will be done come Sunday night.
But I think they'll still win it.
I agree.
The next question. Okay,
really,
sticking with the Red Sox.
Really reading that one.
Sticking with the Red Sox, I forgot. Hello. It's like the gray background. It's bad.
Hold on, before we start this next one. You went to Fenway for the first time as a fan the other day.
As a fan, and it was to see the Cardinals,
so
who is my team.
You told me today it was, what was the word you used?
I said it was a spiritual experience.
Spiritual, I liked that. The cathedral of baseball.
So I was just telling my mom my mom's really big into my mom loves the Cardinals. I grew up in St. Louis, so Cardinals is my team, and my mom loves baseball, and I was just telling her today, like, Fenway, you get to see baseball in its purest form. That's how I described it. I was like,
that.
Thank you. And I was like a little emotional walking up to Fenway because like it's so hyped up.
The first time you walk up the ramp and you see the green, that's an emotional spot.
The green is like, you just have seen it on TV and pictures, and like to feel it and hear the noise in person, it's spiritual.
Did you sing Sweet Caroline in the 8th?
I did not. My friend that I was with, he is a hard no against Sweet Caroline.
Too corny.
Too corny.
Yeah,
too corny.
It's gotten a little corny.
Yeah, he was not a fan of that.
But if you've never been to Fenway, you have to sing that at the top of your lungs.
Yeah, I didn't.
Here's the issue with Sweet Caroline.
Okay.
And I've had this conversation with Dr. Steinberg, who helped kind of orchestrate that. It's great when they're winning and you're in the pennant, but when you're down 10 runs and you're in last place and everyone's singing that song, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt because the Cardinals were losing like 10 to 4
at the end of the day,
you're
terrible. Putting that song on for a person like you, or not you, but like a person who goes to Fenway for the first part of the viewing experience is singing Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning. So while everyone can kind of roll their eyes, it's just part of what the deal is.
Yeah, the wave was cool. I mean, we do the wave at Busch and St. Louis. The wave, I like the wave.
You don't have to tell me what you drank. I don't want to know how many beers you crushed.
I actually can't talk about what I ate because, actually I had chicken finger.
What? No. You didn't have a Fenway Frank?
Didn't have a Fenway Frank because I've been told you can't get them inside the park. You have to get them like outside. the park.
So I'm a
we
strict
just
sausage
did it.
and peppers guy outside.
Okay.
You saw in Yawkey Way.
Yes.
So I do sausage and peppers inside, and then I'll usually do like a late game hot dog inside.
Okay.
I don't think the Fenway Frank, though, is like unbelievable.
Okay. I didn't do it.
Fenway has sold
I had
out a little
chicken
bit
fingers.
too, and
They were
have done
good.
like some they do like macaroni and cheese, like macaroni and cheese nacho, like I don't know, just crazy stuff like that. I feel
Okay.
like that's for the new ballparks. Like let's just stick with Goddard's here, the hot dogs, the popcorn,
Pure
the Cracker
baseball.
Jacks.
All I need: hot dogs, beer. You know, that's
Bathroom.
good. That's all you need.
How's the girls' bathroom?
Not
like?
nice.
I mean, they still
who
have what do they
cares?
call
Like,
you don't know what that is because you're a girl. Trawls, like. This is kind of graphic.
Let's go to the next.
There aren't individual stalls for men to urinate, if that makes sense. It's like sort
Oh.
of communal.
That's nice. That must be a fun
That is
bonding
probably the most
experience.
archaic thing in society that is like acceptable, but what's the?
Can we move on?
Can you Google Sulky what the term is for that?
Intern on
Trough?
hands.
Trawl?
Trough.
All right,
That's what pigs communally eat out of. Troughs.
Sulky, what do we got
So
there?
we need it.
We have another
A trough. I got to tell you.
Can we go to the next question? I'm done.
What's our question?
Next question. We're sticking with the Red Sox. Like the whole show is now going to be Red Sox. Who's having a more impressive year, Andrew Benintendi or Rafael Devers? I have a really
This is
thought out,
a
planned
tough
answer for
one.
this.
This is a tough one. I am more surprised with Devers' performance because in 17 games he's batting like 350. He had an incredible home run off of Aroldis Chapman that secured
Yeah,
that win
that was
against
beautiful.
the Yankees. And listen, I saw him in Pawtucket and spoke to him and saw him up close. He kind of has like this pudgy, boyish body. And I'm like, this guy's our new third baseman
Yeah.
at 20 years old. But because the sample size is so small, I'm actually going with Benintendi, who, albeit he's been streaky, he's been really productive and shown more pop in his bat than I think
Sure.
we would have seen. So I'm actually going with Benintendi, who is still considered a rookie despite coming up last year and playing at the end of last year. But Devers, if Devers continues at the clip he's playing, my answer would be Devers. But because it's a smaller sample size, that could have just been like a 16-game portion in which
Yeah.
Benintendi was hot.
Yeah, so I think Benintendi's hot right now, and he looks really good, and he's had a very, his ups and downs of the season, but I think I'm going to go with Rafael Devers because, and it might just be, he's literally played in 18 games. Like, he's brand new.
Brand new.
But in those 18 games, he's hit 6 home runs, 4 of those at Fenway.
Yeah.
Let me also just point out that Andrew Benintendi, in 111 games that he's played this
Yeah.
season, he's hit 17 home runs. So Rafael Devers has had 6 and 18 compared to 17 and 111
So 1 in
games.
3
I'm
games.
not saying home runs are
Right.
telltale.
He would be
I
on
also-
pace for like 50 home runs.
Right.
Devers, if you
Right.
kept that up.
And I also just love the way he's playing at third base. He turned that triple play that I saw in person. It
But
was like
Yadier
hurt my
Molina's
soul.
the slowest person on earth. So that
True.
wasn't-
I mean, it doesn't hurt. But
let me say this about Devers: the fact that he hits opposite field
Yeah.
is very good sign,
Yeah.
especially with the Green Monster being so short out there, 319 feet.
Yeah.
So hey,
So I'm going with Debbie.
It's Devers and Benintendi, carrying this team instead of Betts and
Yeah.
Bogarts and Jackie Bradley Jr.
yeah, it's cool.
All right, let's switch gears to football. Pats Texans Saturday. They had joint practices in West Virginia this week. The Patriots, I think, set an NFL record in sitting players in a preseason game. They kept 40 players out. We've heard Bill Belichick say that he's getting a lot of what he wants to see and develop out of his players in these joint practices. So should the Pats even play their starters in week 2 of the preseason, a week in which starters usually play?
Week 2, I don't know. They need to play in the preseason.
At some point.
At some
you don't
point.
want them to play week 4, so where does that leave you? 2 and 3.
Yeah. I
So,
guess they can play in week 2.
I need an answer out of you.
They can play week 2. You need to see that, but you got to put them all in together. That's my that's my biggest issue. So are you really going to do that, or are you going to kind of put some guys in at some
Right.
time and then kind of risk
Put
that
all the
injury?
receivers with Garoppolo but no Brady, and they're not working on their timing.
Right, and then how good of what benefits do you get from that when you put in some of them that are not the guys that are going to be
All
on the
right,
field?
I think because I will say this, it is a complete scam to charge fans full price to go to games like that I went to Thursday where there's no starters.
Right.
And it's a con job to have that be part of the regular season package,
Sure.
10 games instead of. That being said, I don't care about the Houston fans who want to see Tom Brady. I don't think the
Sure.
starters should play in week 2. The more I think about it, The Patriots, it's such a foregone conclusion that they're going to the playoffs, that they're winning the division, that they're winning the AFC Championship. They're coming off, since 2011, 5 straight years of AFC Championship games. So their seasons are so long. I don't really need them playing in snaps where guys can get hurt in preseason week 2. That being said, I would like to see them play a little bit going into the season. So I'm going to say hold them out for week 2. Have them play like a good amount, maybe a full half in week 3, and then sit for week 4.
Okay,
but I think because they're doing the joint practices, that's part of the reason Bill Belichick does it.
Right.
They can get sort of game simulation reps without having, the last thing you want is some guy gunning for his job on the other team, hitting someone and injuring them.
100%. Here's something I just thought of, though. Do you take into account the opponent and like what kind of competition that's going to be? Like, do you take into like the Texans are a really good defense? Do you want to see that defense up against your offense? But then again, you have to think about, I lost my train of thought. But I'm just saying, like, you want to know who are the Texans going to play that's going to go up against the Patriots?
And they're going to see in week 3, so they don't want to give away too much information.
So, but do you put them up against the Lions? Like, who really cares about the Lions?
Yeah. Play them against the Lions, and then you don't play in week 4. Tom Brady played in week 4 of the preseason last year, even though he was sitting out the first 4 games. Bill doesn't really have a formula with this. One thing you know about Bill,
he does.
He's consistent with his approach, but he's willing to be flexible year to year. Like, that's what makes Bill Belichick so successful. While you think he has hard and fast rules, he is adaptable, and he changes.
With
that's
the times.
why he...
Beautiful. All right, will Tom Brady see a drop-off performance in 2017?
Could you be more formal with that question?
Yes. Will Tom Brady? Okay, I cannot read this. Will he have a drop-off performance? Not necessarily is he going to just collapse and lose every game, but are you going to see a little decline this year at year 40 for him?
Yes. Little bit. Don't freak out on me, Patriot fan. Over the course of the next 3 or 4 years, or the duration of Brady's remaining time in the NFL, slowly but surely he will get worse. I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff like Peyton Manning did, where he was throwing 55 touchdowns and then he couldn't complete a 10-yard out pattern. But it's just natural. Some of the throws, like the 18-yard out pattern with a guy in his face, maybe he doesn't make as many of those. I thought his mobility was the best it's ever been last year, fighting for extra yards, fighting for a couple first downs, creating more time. But the system is built for him to release the ball within the first 2 seconds that it's snapped. So I'm not too worried about that aspect of it. I just think over time his play has to erode because Mother Time, what is it called?
Mother Nature.
Father Time. Jeez.
Oh.
Father Time is undefeated, right?
Yeah.
So Tom Brady isn't going to all of a sudden, but he was so good last year. He's still going to play at an MVP rate, but just not as good.
Can I say something? What hard evidence shows that just because he turned 40, like the number 40, like all of a sudden you're just going to see this drop?
Well,
he's not going to play as well?
It's like anything else in life. Everything that comes up has to go down.
But why do you think that he's going to come down?
Just a little bit.
He's not going to keep going up.
He's not going to keep. I know he says he feels as good now as he's ever felt.
What if he plateaus for like 2 years?
I could be convinced that he'll plateau, same performance as last year, but I don't think better. He was the MVP.
But you think you're going to see things in him this year that aren't going to be as good as last year just because he's getting old?
I just think over time your play
You
erodes.
have no evidence, hard evidence, that he is going to be
What
bad.
Evidence do you like? Yeah, he doesn't have a hurt shoulder.
I've been watching this dude at training camp for 2 weeks, and he looks younger than me. He looks 24 out there
he's
running,
also
doing
psychotic.
the drills.
He's obsessed with
he's
it.
a lunatic.
But you understand at some point he's not going to be as good.
Of course, I understand that, but I think something's going to have to happen.
All right, so I think at the end of the year when we look at his completion percentage and his touchdown to interception ratio and his QB rating, it'll all just be down a tick. A tick.
Disagree.
You're like offended because you're fellow Michigan guy.
I know. Go blue, Tommy. Go blue, TB12.
God, fangirl over here.
I'm not a fangirl. I just like Michigan and Tom.
I like Michigan. I actually have a short sleeve and a long sleeve Michigan shirt.
Long sleeves are. I'm a big long sleeve.
Paige, both my kids have Michigan, like baby Wolverine stuff.
That's amazing because you're your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Go blue. I've like so much Michigan stuff. It's gross. I need a Michigan. Now that I'm covering the Patriots and Tom Brady's, I need I need to have a Michigan Brady jersey.
Is the yellow, I know it's maize, is it more, has it changed over the years? I feel like it's got more ultra,
more
like
highlighter. They kind of like to do that. Like, it's cool, like the student section for basketball season 2, they do like maize out and everyone's in like highlighter yellow. But I think the still classic is just that bright, perfect maize.
The one thing this market does not have is big time college football.
That's all right.
There's no big house in the next.
It kind of is easier on me because like I can just focus on Michigan.
True.
And just follow Michigan.
It's not like they're competing with you or I and Brown and Bryant.
Yeah.
All right. Our last subject, something that's been in the news a lot.
Yeah.
In the light of the events in Charlottesville and everything over the last, I don't know.
Yeah,
couple
this is kind
months,
of a bad
years.
note to end the show. It's kind of like depressing now.
But LeBron James was speaking out the other day. The question is it an athlete's responsibility to speak out on social issues like we've seen in Charlottesville and other places?
Their responsibility, is that in your contract that you need to, when you sign a piece of paper, are you saying that like, oh yeah, I'm going to speak out against for social issues that I believe in? No. But I really appreciate, whether I disagree, agree, I appreciate with any athlete that's going to come out and speak for what they believe in, because they've built that platform. Because you're a good athlete, amazing, but people listen to you and people care about what you say, and if you want to change this world, you come out and you use that platform. Because, and I respect LeBron for coming out and doing it. Colin Kaepernick, obviously, completely, very controversial issue about the national anthem, and that takes other things into consideration too about non-racial issues when you're talking about the national anthem. But I respect that. I respect the motive to go ahead and do it. Is it your responsibility? Some people probably think it is. So, like, Colin Kaepernick feels it's his resresponsibility
and he
to take
started
a
a dialogue that's continued with him. If his intention was to get this dialogue going, and him not being on a team right now continues that dialogue, because Colin Kaepernick's, all right, it's not your responsibility just because you're an athlete. You don't have to say what your beliefs are, but you have the right, like any American, to put on Facebook or stand on a podium and say what you believe in and what you think is right for our country. I think it's good when a lot of people like that have a huge platform and following, like LeBron James, can go out there and speak on social issues. Michael Jordan famously never touched anything in terms of controversy or social issues, because I think he famously had a quote that said Republicans buy sneakers too. He just wanted to stay out of it. If you're a big player, like Tom Brady has consciously tried to stay out of politics. He had the Make America Great Again Donald Trump had a year ago or 2 years ago, because he was supporting his friend, but then when everyone said, did you vote for him, he wouldn't commit either way. That's his right too. I don't need to know who Tom Brady voted for, and that's more political than it is like social issues. But it's not your responsibility. If you do it, more power to you, knowing you have the platform to do it. So, and if you want to...
I like the perspective too that I think's come up a lot, that if you're not speaking out against it, you are part of the problem. A lot of people feel that way. And for LeBron, like, especially when you're on that stage, I think he feels like, especially for him, who, is going down in history, for him to not come out, it's even more a little bit there. The elephant in the room is there for him, more so than for, like, a nobody athlete. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's a big name. I mean, anytime he tweets, he has, 20 million followers out there. So
everyone's listening to him. Everyone is listening to him. So good for him. I also, have my own personal things about LeBron in general, but...
You're not a LeBron guy.
No, big LeBron girl.
You are a big LeBron fan.
LeBron fan.
I go back and forth with LeBron.
I might lose some followers after saying that.
He's had his issues and rivalry with the Celtics, but I respect his play.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think he's done with Cleveland if he goes to the Lakers. I don't like...
This is its own question,
I don't
Yanni.
like one of the greatest players ever being a mercenary. Like, I'm in Cleveland, I'm in Miami, I'm in Cleveland, I'm in LA.
Right.
Going to the Red Sox tomorrow versus the Yankees.
So excited.
Are you excited?
Yeah, nervous. Excited to stand on that field, though. I mean, like I said, not only, first of all, it was spiritual for me. I'm not really, am I going to cry on air tomorrow?
I've been to Busch Stadium at the 2013 World Series, your home park.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And each has its own pluses and minuses, right?
It's so different. And that I worked for the Cardinals for 3 summers, so I basically lived at Busch Stadium for 3 summers, and it was home for me. Yeah. But like, there's such different character between Fenway and Busch that I think is it's so cool about sports. Like, that's what's so cool about sports, is like personalities that like these organizations create. I think it's just like very.
Well, other than Fenway, just Wrigley is probably the only ballpark that
Wrigley's
has that
beautiful
sort of.
too. Hate to say it, but it's really awesome. Very historic. I also like what Fenway's done with like their new video boards and stuff.
Yeah.
How they keep it historic looking.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
cool.
like an old home that has updates in it.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so to stand on that field tomorrow, whew, look for me crying on TV. It's gonna be like really emotional. Really emotional. But awesome.
Good
Can't
luck
wait.
with that.
Thank you. Don't watch.
All right, next week we're trying to get Dondero back in here.
He missed out on a good one.
That was a good
Sorry,
one.
Dondi.
That is the latest edition of Double OT. You can catch the full episode online on WPRI.com and on social media at Ruthie Polinsky,
At Ruthie Polinsky.
at Yanni Karakis, and as a podcast, subscribe on iTunes, search Double OT. See you next time.
Bye, guys.